Hello everyone. In our today's video, we're gonna create an e-commerce website, a search bar, and also the dynamic page routing using Next.js 13. As you see in our today's website, if we just type something, as you see, it's gonna go and fetch through the related products from the products we are having in our main page. And if we click on that product, it will take us that product with a particular dynamic routing where we can see all the relative details to that particular product. We can add the product from here, and also if you go back, as you see, if we are hovering over any of the images and we click, it's gonna also take us to that dynamic routing, and also we can add the products from here. And these two instances we're gonna create. And by the way, also we're gonna create as in our till the last video, which if you just go back to my channel and if you just see the video, the last updated video, which we have that Amazon clone with Next.js 13.4.8. So till our last build, we're gonna start in our today's video. So once we also go with that, this still the marked up pages, we didn't do it, the marked and favorite one. In that favorite pages, if you just click on that add to cart, it will add that product to the cart and it's gonna remove that from the favorite pages. So these things also you're gonna implement over here. And to cope up with our today's video, till our last build, I already push everything in this Amazon Next.js, so it will be available in this repo. The repo will be in the description below, and also you can go through there and you can clone it, you can download it, whatever is sweet for you. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clone it for our today's purpose. Let's open my terminal and let's type git clone. Let's clone that one. So if you are not understanding much better in this video, feel free to go over here and watch in our first build and you're gonna understand it better. So let's go back there and cd, which will be Amazon Next underscore YT. So let's open it in our code editor. Keep over here. And whenever you are cloning or downloading anything from GitHub, in by default way, that node modules will not be available there. So we need to install that node module. Let's open our git bash. And now I'm using the npm, so I'm gonna put that npm install. If you're using yarn, you just put yarn add or just type yarn. It's gonna install all the dependencies to run that application. Okay, so as you see, everything is installed. Let's run our application npm run dev. So now it will open our application in a localhost 3000. And let's open that URL. And whenever you are opening that one from the beginning, you're gonna get an error, and that error is gonna come from that .env.local, because we are already declared one next alt URL, and which we need to get it and pass that to run that application, because we modify that one for with our Stripe payment authentication. So you need to implement that one, and otherwise your application will not run over here. As you see, you're gonna get an error which is for the invalid URL. So you need to pass that URL as a next auth URL. Either you are using the localhost 3000 or localhost 3001, whatever is that. So first of all, as you see, this is the application we are having here. As you see in the mark favorite is not working, but the card and other all the details is working just fine. And if you want to just go through that authentication and other, you need to put that all the GitHub ID, GitHub secret ID, and other Stripe payment authentication. You're gonna find it everything in our last video, how to do it and how to understand it better. So in our today's video, I'm not gonna go and cop up with that. First of all, we need to create that dynamic page routing. As you see, once we click, it's gonna take us to that dynamic link. So we will create that one first. And to implement that one, first of all, we need to go to the components where the product is lying. So here, okay, let me just drag it a little bit more. Now here in the image, we will create that routing setup, right? So what I'm gonna do in that overall image, I'm gonna just wrap it inside that a link, which I'm gonna import from the next link. And now inside that link, I need to pass that route page. So that route page, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put an href tag, and inside that href tag, I'm gonna pass it as a path name because I need to pass other data, which I'm gonna do it later on. And the ID, it will be the ID we are having over here. As you see, the ID we are receiving as the props from product data. So if I save, it will take to that particular ID, but the pages, it will not be available because we need to create that particular dynamic page. To create that page in that pages folder, I'm gonna create a dynamic page with the bracket. It's gonna take the parameter as an ID, and let's put that tsx rafce, and now put that as dynamic page, and also is save. It's gonna give us that page. As you see, now that pages is available. So now we are having the page, and now we need to also pass the data. And to pass the data, we can use another functionality from there, which is named as query. And inside that query, we can pass all the available data over here, which we have been sending to the product card. So let's send that. And I think pretty much that's it. So now if we just go back and click any of the product, you can see it's gonna fetching all the details. If you are just also going to the actual amazon.com, it's just fetching in the similar way. So now we are having that data in that our dynamic routing page. We need to catch that data, and to catch that data, we can use the router, and that const router, it will be that use router, and that use router is gonna come from the next router. So let's just make a quick console to see whatever we are getting inside that router. So let's open our inspect, and in the console, as you see, we are having an object, and inside that object we are getting the path, and inside that query we are having all the details. So if we just go to that router.query, now we will be able to see that object we are passing, the product object. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save that that object inside our like the state functionality. So let's type that const product and set product, which gonna be UG state, and I'm gonna pass the parameter as an object. So now instead of that console.log, I'm gonna pass that as to save as in router. But this one, as you see, we are having a runtime error, and to prevent that one, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a parameter which will be defect calling as inside an use effect hook, because that parameter, our router can be changed. So that's why we're gonna put it inside that. And now whenever the router.query will be changed, the object module will be also changed along with that. So now you see the error is gone. So now what we need to do, we need to adopt that product, because we can now access that product data. So over here, I'm gonna take another div, and inside that div, I'm gonna pop up that image from the next image. Now in the source, let's add that product.image, and okay, product.image, and also in alt tag it will be product image. Oops, I am a GE. And now we need to give a width. Let's give a width of 500, and also height, let's give 500. And we are having an error. Just to make a quick solution, because I'm just will go with that any, or you can type the products type, which as you feel better. I'll just copy up with that. So now this is our pages, and as you see, we are having the images available over here. So in the top level of the div, let's go and give some class name, which will be the max width of screen and axle. And mx will be auto to keep that image in the middle, and padding x will be 4, padding y will be a 4, and whenever it's heading in the medium screen, the padding y will be 10. So as you see, that will be that functionality. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wrap everything inside another div, and in that div, let me go and give some class name for that one also, and which gonna be, it will be full, and I'm gonna make it a grid, and grid whenever it gonna hit an empty screen, it will be the grid columns of 3, and the gap will be 3. Let's give a bg gray of 100 and round it lg. As you see, that's our overall div over here, but the image div, I'm gonna make it separate. So what I'm gonna do, give some more class name. I'm gonna make it flex item center, justify center, bg gray of 100, and make it a rounded of lg. As you see, I believe it will be able to see. Okay, let's give it a background of 200. As you see, that's the image over here. Now inside that image, we want to create that two things, but as you know, that two things already available somewhere over here. As you see in the main pages, these two things is available. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just get that two things from there, and I believe this is available in our product page. So let's go, and this is available from here. So let's get that div till here. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just popping those things inside our that div. And by the way, those everything gonna be absolute things, and also we're gonna use that a group thing. So what I'm gonna do, give a relative, and also I'm gonna make it as a group. Oops, and then it will be overflow will be hidden. And now there is so many things need to be there. This ID brand category, as you see, we are using that products because we are saving everything inside that product. So we need to give that product.id, product.title like that. So let's go product dot. And also I'm gonna copy that, and also I'm gonna keep it here. Okay, now, oops. Now after having those, we also need to import that reducer from that store from the next slice, and also I'm gonna popping up those icon for to use that. Okay, and also that add to cart dispatch. And now we need to implement that dispatch functionality, which will be const dispatch. We're gonna use that use dispatch from React Redux. So now if we save that one, those functionality will be available for us. So if we just click on that, and now as you see, those two things are available right now for us. So now there could be some other differences, as you may know. As you see, it's matching all together in the same site, so we can actually give some proportion. So let's make okay, transition x2. Let's see. So what I'm gonna do, give a -2. Now as you see, it's a little bit inside. So now we have this portion. Now we need to create this other part, and to create that, what I'm gonna do, we are having that image. After that image, we're gonna take another div, and inside that div, let's take a p tag, and inside that p tag, I'm gonna type that product dot it will be a first one is this, give some category, and also give another one which will be a product dot brand. So now let's hit the save, and let's see, those things are available, but everything I want to keep in the center proportion. So let's go in our parent label of there. So first of all, I'm gonna go through that. Whenever it will be in the medium screen, it gonna be get a 3 column span of 2 to make it that one looks much more better and responsive, and it will be flex in a column portion, and also give a gap of 3 from the other side, and justify center and padding of 4. Once I hit save, as you see, that is in the middle. Now let's style that p tag. Let's put that class name. And first of all, I want to make it as a text an extra small. But whenever it's gonna hit an empty screen, it's gonna be take as a small text, and the text color it will be Amazon blue, and the font it will be a semi-bold. And I want it to be looks nice, so I'm gonna put a -3 from the margin bottom. So this our text is ready, and after that p tag, we're gonna take another span, not an span tag. I'm gonna take an h1 tag, and now I'm gonna put that product.title. This is our title available, and for the title, we want to make it bit looks a little bit big. Let's put some class name. Oops, not that use callback. It will be class name. And the text it will be axle. Whenever it will hit in the MD screen, it will be text as a 3 axle, and the tracking it will be wide, and also I'm gonna make it as a font of semi-bold. So this is our title text, and after the title, so we're gonna also add that description. So it will be our product dot description. You can see the overall description is available, and for that description, let's give some class name. The text it will be a small text, and the text it will be gray of 600. So as you see, those things are available. And now after passing those things, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just take another div, and inside that div I'm gonna take a p tag where I'm gonna give the price. It will be price, and after that price I'm gonna take another span tag, and now I'm gonna get that formatted price, and inside that price I'm gonna pass our amount, and that amount it will be that product dot price, and that will be our first amount. As you may see, this things is available over here, and I believe that div it will be inside that it will be inside that other div, so need to keep it inside. So now it's available, and after that is span, I'm gonna copy this span, and I'm gonna take it as the old price. So this both price is available. So what I'm gonna do in our parent p tag, I'm gonna put a class name. The text it will be as a base text, and the text it will be a gray of 600 by default, and flex item center, and I'm gonna give a gap of 1. So once we're giving the gap, I will just remove that one, no need. And now in our first product price, we want to give the product price in a very good shape. So what I'm gonna give it class name, which will be text it will be LG, and also text it will be Amazon blue, and now font it will be semi-bold. So now this is our price tag, and now we need to outline our old price. Let's give a class name for it, and it will be margin left of 1 to give it room, and now it will be line through. So this is our price. So after the price, we need to add how much we save, and then add to cart. And to get the save price, we just need to minus the old price, new price from the old price. So let's give that you saved, and now again I'm gonna pass it in a span, and now the formatted price, and also we're gonna pass that amount old price. Not the old price, it will be product dot old price minus product dot price. So now as you see, you save 30. And now also we need to keep some of the class name for that p tag, which will be it will be text as m, and the text it will be gray of, let's give a 500, flex item center, and we're gonna give a gap of 1. So this is our save. And now after the p tag, I'm gonna give a button which will say as add to cart. So this is the button available. Let's just put some style for that button. Let's give a class name which it's gonna take a full weight, and whenever it's hidden in MD, it's gonna take is 96 of maximum width, and height will be 12. Beige, it will be Amazon blue background, and the text, it will be a gray of 200. Whenever we're gonna hover, it will be beige. The background, it will be Amazon yellow, and also whenever we are hover, the text, it will be Amazon blue. And now the duration, it will be 300, and rounded, let's give a rounded of LG rounded, or you can give a rounded Excel, the way you feel better. And now after doing that, I want to make it to be side from the top little bit, so the empty margin top, it will be 2. So now as you see, hover also is working. And now give a text of base text, and font, it will be semi bold. Oops, it will be semi bold. So now we need to click that on click function. Now by the way, if we just, you see once we coming in the smaller screen, it's getting that responsive. So we created responsive by default to work with it. So now also whenever we click on that function, we need to create an on click event, which gonna be dispatch, and the dispatch, it will be add to cart. And inside that add to cart, we need to pass an object, the same object we are passing in the top level, because we are using that add to cart over here. So that's the product value we want to send. So this will be our add to cart. So now once we click, you see the product is added over there. So pretty much that's the thing for our dynamic routing. We can go any of the product, we can add to cart that product over there. And also as you see, the other things also working, we can also add our product to the fabric. So now it's a time to create our that search bar area where we can search, and whenever we click also, it will take us to that particular add to cart portion. And by the way, we missed out one more thing, that loading portion. As you see, I think whenever we click any of the product, there is that loading instances is going on. We need to create that instances also. And to create that, first of all, either we can go with that loading proportion or some other, but for this one, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just create a loading instance, is loading, set is loading, and by default it will be true. So whenever we are landing on that page, the loading will be true. And now we're gonna create a set timeout function, set timeout, and inside that set timeout, we're gonna just set is loading false, and it's gonna false after every 2000, like every 2 milliseconds, the is loading will be false. So what is gonna happen once is loading is there, and what is not gonna happen once is loading there, we need to declare that. So whenever is loading is available, it gonna gives that like your product is loading dot dot dot, and whenever it's not loading, it's gonna give us our product back. So this the small instances we can create. The normal preferences, you click, you see your product is loading. So now we create that one, but also we need to make it a little bit looks nicer. And to implement that one, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that p tag inside a div. I'm gonna wrap the things up, and inside that div, let's give a width of full and flex. Oops, it will be flex column, and gap of 6, because we're gonna add something also. The item center, justify center, and padding y, it will be 20. So if we just go over here, as you see, your product is loading. Now we need to implement that bit loader, and that bit loader we're gonna use from that React spinners. React spinner. So that's the library we're gonna use to create that instances. As you see, that bit loader, that's the one we're gonna use. And to use that, first of all, we need to install that one. Let's go to our project, take another terminal, and let's install that one. So from there, we're gonna take it and we're gonna install. So let's just import that one. I believe it's already installed, so let's import. So now that page loader we're gonna implement over here. So let's go back to our code, and after below the p tag we're gonna use that bit loader. And now that bit loader we're gonna give a color, and that color it will be the Amazon color, so 131921. And also the size, we're gonna give a size of 40. So now if we just reload, we'll be able to see, as you see, your product is loading. Now you can toggle through the timing, or you can just go through the default loading instances for the Next.js. But for this one, I'm just gonna make it keep as simple as it is. So now this portion is done. Let's go to create that our search bar, and to create the search bar we need to head back to our header, because all the product we're gonna because our search bar is available in the header. So now we need to get one more thing. We need to catch all the available products, because then we can filter through that product. So now we are catching that products over here. Now we are getting that products from that API, then we are passing that product as a product data. But in the meantime, the same way, if we can just pass that product, because we have been created another, like if you go to the store and next slices, you can see we are having a set all products. So it's gonna take a state that set all products of action.payload. So we can pass all the products we are having to that slice, so it will save in our store. So let's do that first. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use that one inside that use effect portion, and then we're gonna pass that. Okay, so first of all, let's make that const dispatch. We're gonna use dispatch. Okay, use dispatch. Oops, it will be use dispatch. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create one use effect, because every time, like, our product can be changed if we are using a different API. So that time the product may be changed. So for that, we're gonna just implement in that way. So first of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna dispatch that, and in that dispatch I'm gonna make that a set all product. As you see, I'm gonna import that one as an auto import, and I'm gonna pass an object, and that object is gonna be just give it the name of all products, and inside that all products I'm gonna pass that product data, and it will be vary whenever the product data will be changed, that variable also will be changed. So now if we just, whenever that page is loading, the product data, it will also be saved. If we go inspect that one, either let's see if we can find anything in the Redux, in the action on the state. As you see, now all products, that products, all the products is available inside our all products. So now we can get that products to our header, and then we can amplify that one, that search bar area. So now we need to get that products inside our header. So let's go back to our header. Remember, we are calling not here, it will be in the header. Inside header, we are getting the product data, favorite data, user info. So now also we will get that all product. So I think we give a name of all products, right? All products, so it will be with an S. So let's just get that, oops, console.log, which will be all products. Let's see, and as you see, all products is available. Oops, it's just giving a loading. Okay, now all products is available. So now what we can do, we can just go through that all products and just use it in our application to create that other functionality. Now we are having that all products, but we need to trimming it, because we will keep it a name with all data. And to do that, first what I'm gonna do, just make it a search area. So the search area will be work over here. So first of all, I'm gonna take two more dependency over here, which will be all products, and it will be just like not all products, it will be all data, and set all data, and let's make it as a user state, and we're gonna pass it inside an array. So now we need to get that all product data. And by the way, I think it will be better to keep in a top layer. So let's get in the top layer. And how and when we gonna save that? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get another use effect. Now I'm gonna just set all data because we are receiving from that all products dot all products. And now whenever the product data will be the changes, it gonna just give us the, whenever the data will change, it will give us the different products. So now in the search area, we will be able to get the product. So just console.log. If we just get that all data, now as you see, we are getting that, we'll be able to get the array of data. So no other fundamental things, we are getting that array of data very much in a cool way. So now we need to implement the search bar things. To implement that one, what I'm gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna take some of the state. First one, it will be search query and set search query use state. And first it gonna be an empty search query, it will be empty. And after that also we will take another instances which will be for filtered products, and it will be filter products, oops, use effects, and also not use effects, sorry, it will be use state. And inside that filter products, it will be an empty array because we're gonna get all the filtered items over here, and it will come inside an array. So now first of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create that search area. We need to create that instances on the search. As you see, let's go to our search where we keep that search. It will be in the top. That's the hotline, that's the search bar area for that, and that's the import which is related for the search area. So now whenever we create that on change, we need to create that on change functionality. Or instead of giving there, what I'm gonna create that handle search. So now we need to call that function in the top level. So after that portion, what I'm gonna do, const handle search, and inside that search I'm gonna take an event. Just type in any event to just escape that type error. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just set, or what we're gonna do, we're gonna console.log, we're gonna just type that e, because whatever the value we are typing here, now we will be able to catch that value. As you see, if we just put that e dot target dot value, we will be able to see that a particular value, the typing value in that our search area. Now as you type, we can fetch that value, is the available value over there. So let's see, or instead of event, what we can do, we can just put that react.change event HTML input element. So we're gonna just go out of that error. So now what we need to do, instead of that console.log, we need to set that as inside a parameter. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna just make that a set search query. So we're gonna keep that as a search query. And also in the value parameter, what we're gonna do, we're gonna give a value which will be the parameter for that search query. So that's the value we're gonna implement over here. Now we give the value, it's time to render our data. So let's create that use effect. We will get that inside that use effect hook, because whenever we type, the data will be changed. So first of all, let's get that filtered. And that filter, it will be from that all data. We're gonna filter from that all data, and on that instances we're gonna filter that item. So it will not be, it will be in 1L filter, and the item, it will be that store product item we are we are having that. So to create that type error out. So now whenever we are having that product, what we're gonna do, instead of the curly braces, I'm gonna keep it in that way. So the item dot title, so whatever the title is available, we're gonna make that title as a to local lowercase. And after that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna include the search parameter, the search layout we are passing, and we're gonna also make that one as a to lowercase. So now what we're gonna do, we are actually filtering all the data, whatever data we are whatever we are typing over here through inside of that search bar area. Oops, I think we're getting a runtime error, and that error it just okay. Okay, because we need to, I think that's that's the error, because we need to stop that filtering. So whenever we are typing that, we need to we will match through that data. We will keep that as a lowercase, whatever we type. Then after that, with that particular letter, whatever we type, we're gonna go and match with that all the product title, the title we are having here. We're gonna fetch through that title. Either you can go through the title, you can go through the product brand, whatever way you want. So in that build, I'm gonna go with the title, and then we're gonna find that data. So if I just make that console.log, and just to see that filtered, and also that a filter, it will be depend on the search query params whenever we are passing. So now, and by default, first of all, we're gonna having that all data, right? And then we're gonna filter through all data. So just type A, and now it will be available all the products related A. Just remove that, it will be an all overall the array. So just type the watch. As you see, we are getting only the watch related data over here. So first of all, instead of giving that console, now we can save that data as set of filter products, and now we are having that products available over here. So now we will be able to create the other instances where we can show the data. So to implement that one on that a search bar, and I believe what I'm gonna do, that one after that one. So just let's put that search field to have a markdown. Okay. So now inside the search field, what I'm gonna do, that data, that field, it only be shown whenever the search query is available. Okay. So whenever the search query is available, then we're gonna pass a div, and inside that div, what I'm gonna do, whenever the filter products dot length is bigger than 0, then it gonna pass something. And whenever it gonna pass a div, and whenever is not bigger than 0, means there is no data, I'm gonna pass I'm gonna pass another div. Oh my god, it's giving another error. So div and no products, just to keep it simple, and also to make it visible for us. In that length, whenever the filter length is bigger than 0, it's an instances, but we need to pass another parameter to filter the data, and that will be whenever the search query is available for us. If the search query is not available, it will not be shown. So whenever the search query is available, we need to just filter products, and from that filter products, we are going through to map with that products and the item, and inside that item, it will be that same store product we are using for the type capabilities. And now we're gonna return, and inside that return portion, we're gonna return a div. Okay, and inside the div, I'm gonna take an image, just a normal image tag. So now we're gonna pass that item dot image, and also in all tag, it will be product image. So now whenever we are typing something, we will be able to see that product image available there. As you see, this is available over here. now the image is coming. As you see in the top layer, the image is available, but we need to keep it in that way, in the look of that, so we can see in a very good shape. So first of all, to implement that one in the top layer, whenever we are giving that, I'm gonna go and grab some class name for that. I'm gonna make it an absolute div, and from the left it will be 0. From the top, I'm gonna give a gap, like from the top it will be 12, and then width will be full, mx it will be auto to keep it inside in the middle, and now the max height it will be 96 of height, and the bg gray of 200, and around it will be lg, and overflow y it will be scroll, and the cursor it will be pointer, and text by default it will be black. So now as you see, it will be now available for that portion. As you see, this is available over here. So now we need to implement some of the class name for other portion, then it will be just fine. Now also we need to pass another id for that, and by the way it will be a linkable item, so let's pass that link, and href it will be that href portion we're gonna use. Remember, we used it before to pass that in particular id, and to implement that one we're gonna pass as the path name with a valid id, and that id it will be item.id. And also what we need to do, we need to pass that query, and inside that query we're gonna pass an object which we're gonna give that item id and every other thing. So what I'm gonna do, let's go to the pages of id, and let's fetch no, not in the id, I think we pass it in a product level. So from here I'm gonna just copy that, I'm gonna paste it over here. Now these items will be available from the item. So what I need to do, I need to just pass that item parameter, item dot, and now it will be available. And also we need to give the key, and that key will be item dot id. And also to make it looks better, let's just go and give a design to our image to make it looks bit nicer. And before giving that image, also what we're gonna do, we're gonna give a class name for our link portion, which gonna be width will be full, and border b we wanna give 1 pixel of height in the border b, and also border b it will be gray of let's give a gray of 400, and flex it will be item center, not that caret, inherit item center, and gap it will be 4. And also for the image we're gonna just give a single properties, class name width we're gonna give a 24 of width, so that we can actually render through that and it will be looks a bit of nicer. So now if we type watch, you see the watch is available. So now what we can actually do, I'm gonna take either div or without the div. I'm gonna take other things inside another div. So now what I'm gonna pass the value, first of all I'm gonna get that item dot brand, and that I'm gonna pass that item dot let's pass that category. And after that one also I'm gonna take another p tag where I'm gonna find that item dot title, and after the title we're gonna pass another p tag, the p tag which gonna be item dot description. So these the things we are passing. So let's gonna amplify to see how it's looking. It's not looks that much good. So what I'm gonna do, or instead yeah, we can actually pass through in a processable way, so it gonna be looks much of nicer. So instead of keeping that one over here, let's go inside the components and let's keep that as a search products.tsx rafce. So what I'm gonna do, instead of passing that data as a raw data, let's go to our header. So that's the data we are passing, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just implement of Okay, let's cut that one. Let's make that search product over here. So in that way, it will never be, because whenever we are changing inside of that field, it's just refreshing, because it's as a page router, it's refreshing. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna type everything over here and it will not change. So if we type, as you see, our search product is available. So inside that search product, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass that item, and inside that item, I'm gonna pass over all the items available over here. So now we can access that items here, and that item, it will be store product, or instead of store product, because the key, it will not be there, we can actually get whatever the product is available. We can get the ID, we can get the title, we can get the similar that way, and also we can get through that way that product props. So let's go through that product props. Okay, that item. Okay, we need to also decipher something. Instead of passing that one like that way, we can actually go through that. We're gonna pass it interface, which will be our props, and inside that props, we can go through and grab the previous type we are passing before. We're gonna pass the type over here, and now we're gonna pass a type which will be item, and inside that type, we're gonna put that item as the it will be props. We're passing that props as the item. So instead of product props, we're gonna pass that items only over here. As you see, that now looks pretty much better on that way. So now remember, we are having other things beforehand where we are keeping that image. So the similar way, we're gonna just keep that image that over here, which will be item.image, and width will be 24. As you see now, if we type, the watch is available, and also beforehand we are giving that, or after the image, what I'm gonna do, okay, let me just take another div over here, and now in this way, we're gonna type that the previous one, we have been copied before. So that item.brand and item.category, it will be available. And now, okay, give a class name on it, which will be text in XS, the smaller text, and minus MB, it will be, MB, it will be 1. And also, after doing that p tag, we also need to add another p tag, which will be item.title. The same thing which we have been did before. So give a class name, the text, it will be LG, and font, it will be medium. And after that p tag, which I'm gonna make that description for that item.description. And that description, what I'm gonna do, give a class name, the text, it will be access, the smaller text we're gonna provide. But the description, I think it will be much more long. If we go over here, give a watch type, it's very long. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make it dot substring. We're gonna keep that as a substring method, and we're gonna just amplify that one as a 100 characters. And first of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go make it a flex, and flex call, and item would be center, and just give a gap, which we have been given here before. I think, yeah, we are in the header, and we're giving a gap 4. So just implement the similar gap over here. And now, after giving those portion, okay, watch, it will be not in flex column, actually it will be in the row section. And now there will be 2 buttons which we have been created before. So these 2, as you see, as you see, these 2 button, remember, we have been created beforehand somewhere. That is here. This the button we're gonna implement. So what we can do, actually, we can just grab those two buttons from our previous section where we have been added those two button, and also we can just import that formatted price and it will just work simple way. And after that also there is one more thing which we have been created, that formatted save portion, which we need to implement after having a like after in the below div. Remember, we are having that old price dot price and the other price. The similar way we can implement that one over here. Now, if we type the watch, as you see, we are giving how much we can save and whatever the other proportion is there. Now, once we click, it will render us to that particular product. Okay. So now if we click, okay, it's not rendering. Let's just, okay, we are in our other builds. That's why. So let's just put type, as you see, it's gonna getting us to that particular portion, but it's the other portion is still is available. So we need to, like, whenever we are typing something, it's taking to us that particular page, but this pop-ups is not going. So we need to remove that pop-ups whenever it's redirecting us to that other page. And to do that, we can do it in a very simplistic way. So whenever we are clicking any of the product, we can just keep that search query as an empty parameter so that it's gonna remove that params. So how we can do that? Let's just remove that, not require. So let's go back to our header. So whenever we are going through any of the passing that products, also we're gonna pass another on-click event, and that on-click event will be responsible to wipe out our search parameter, which will be set search query. We're gonna just empty the search query, whatever the search query is available. It's gonna empty things for that. So let's go to our main page. Let's just search watch, and as you see, that things is gone, and now we can having another search. So just put another type, and as you see, those things also available. So now our search parameter, and also by the way, you can add the product, and you can do also for mark for that favorite one. So now we are having that our search parameter, we having our like the single product parameter. Now we need to create that mark event, which we would for our favorite product. I believe we are having one page called favorite. If we create, no, we didn't create yet. So first of all, let's create that favorite page, favorites.tsx, RAFCE. It will be favorite page. And also let's go back to our header. And by the way, one portion is we skip because we need to also show us if nothing is matched with our product type. As you see, no products. So we need to just make it a bit of nicer way. So let's give a class name, beige. It will be background will be white. Oops, it will be white. And height, it will be 96. Flex, it will be not in the column, just keep it a flex. And item center, justify center. Padding in y-axis, it will be 5. Rounded, it will be LG. And a shadow, we're gonna give a shadow for a larger shadow for it. Okay, that's the one. As you see, it's gonna match through that with the previous one. But what we can do actually, we can okay, it's I believe we are doing it we are approaching in a wrong way. Instead of giving that one, or I'm gonna give a height of let's just try to keep it simple. Instead of giving in that other way, I'm not gonna give in a height. I'm gonna give a padding y of 10 to make it looks bit of nicer. And just instead of background, let's give it a gray of 50 to let it be seen in a good way. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass that text, which gonna be tell us that nothing is okay. Let's get that text over here, that nothing is matches with your search keywords. Please try again. So if we go to over here now, so that's the word we are looking for. So in the p tag, let's make that text Excel. And also font, it will be a semi-bold. And then we're gonna give an animate, which will be the bounce animation to make things looks a bit of nice and clean. So now if we type, you see nothing is available. Please try again, or we can also keep in one exclamation mark. So it's time to attach our favorite portion. Let's go and use that as a link, which the hurry it will be favorites. It will redirect us to our favorite pages. So now if we click, see, we are inside our favorite pages. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna just click in a very simple way. So let's go inside the favorite pages. Now we need to get the data. Remember, we are having the data inside our header. So in that way, we can capture all the data. We are having that favorite data available over here also. But for our favorite page, we can go and make it in a manual through. So just put that cons favorite data, data, and we're gonna use that use selector to get the data. And the state, it will be state props, and that state is defined over here. So whatever the props, it will be available for that product data, favorite data, user info, and next. And now we can actually get that state dot next. So the data will be available from that instances. So if we just make console.log favorite data, we will be able to see our favorite page data over here. So let's just go to console, and you see we are having 5 favorite data. So now just close that console. What we can do, we can now let's give that favorite data dot length. If there is a favorite data like is bigger than 0, so now pass it deep, data is available. And now if there is no data, also we're gonna get something. So it will be like given h1 thing is available in the favorite list. So now we are having that data, so that's why we can see that data. So whenever we are having that data, what we can do actually, inside that div, I'm gonna pass another div, and that div I'm gonna make that rate item. And now also we're gonna, after that div, we're gonna pass another p, which will be say as whatever the action we're gonna pass through. So now in the top level of the div, let's just give a max width of screen of Excel, and mx, it will be mx auto, and px it will be 6, when the gap it will be 10, and py we want to give it as 4. So now this is the thing. Inside over here, I'm gonna give a class name, and we're gonna give it a like the white background, and just make it a call span. Because we want to make it okay. Just I'm not gonna put it as a call span right now. So the padding of 4, and the rounded it will be LG. So that's the thing. And now in that div, what I'm gonna do, the class name flex, and that item will be center, justify between, and I'm gonna give it border B, and that border B will be 1 pixel. Need to put a dash, and the border B will be gray 400, and also padding B of 1. So now as you see, I think we cannot see that border. It will be OR border. So now let's go to our ptech, which is saying the favorite item. Let's put a class name. Text, it will be 2XL. Font, it will be semi-bold, and the text, it will be Amazon blue. The save, that's our favorite item. And the action platter, we're gonna give a class name which will be text LG, and font the same way, the semi-bold, and the text Amazon Blue. So that would be our action. So now after below that div, we're gonna type another div, and inside that div, we're gonna just make a favorite data dot map, and inside we're gonna pass that item, and that item we're gonna pass that like that store or product as the type definition for that, and we're gonna return something. So what we're gonna return, we're gonna return a component which will be returned as favorite product.tsx rafce. Let's hit save, and now what we're gonna go favorite product we're gonna pass. So now as you see, we are having 5 products, so it's showing us the 5 products, and also we're gonna pass that item as item. And I believe we can also give a keyword for that. Let's give it the key item dot id will be the key for that. So actually we can capture all over the favorite products over here, and then we can keep the types. So to keep all the favorite, remember how the way we before previously we give a type definition. So the same way we're gonna implement that. We're gonna pass that item, and now then we're gonna give that, we're gonna pass that item, and then we're gonna inside the interfaces we're gonna put that card product props. In that way we're gonna get through from the error. Now that product, this card item will be the similar of that card product variation, so in that way you can create it. So first of all, let's go to our div, and in that div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take one image. Now here we can actually image use that next image portion, and the search source, it will be item dot image. And now what I'm gonna do, just give it alt, it will be product image, and also give a width of 150, and then height of 150. Let's see. Now you can see, we can see the product is available, and once it's available, let's go after that div, we can actually implement another div, and first of all, and on that div, let's add one p tag. We're gonna add that our title, which will be item dot title. Let's see where it's heading. So now if we just go to our previous one, let's just add some of the products in our favorite button. So let's see, this is the portion we need to create, so it will be like in that way. And to implement that over here, we need to make our parent div in a flex proportion. Let's give a class name bg gray of 100, and also we're gonna make it a rounded of lg, and a flex it will be in a column proportion, but whenever it gonna hit in the medium screen, it gonna be flex row. In that way it will be in a responsive, and item center and the gap, it will be 4. As we hit, as you see, that now looks pretty much slick. Okay, and now what we can actually do on that particular div. Okay, and also we can make that mb of 2. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. Let's go to favorite. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take inside a div over here, and that key, I'm gonna cut that key, I'm gonna paste it here, give a class name empty of 2. Okay, now looks perfect. So now on that p tag, what I'm gonna do over here, give a class name for that one, which will be the similar class name, titles, unit price, all other things is pretty much similar of previous hand. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just popping up things over here. So I'm gonna giving a item, a title, description, and the price over here. The similar way you can find it in our cart pages, so that's why I'm not giving it a much of a hate. So now we are having those portion. Now we need to also use that add to cart proportion. Now in the top layer of there, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that div inside another div. Okay, so now in our parent layer, I'm gonna make it it will be class name. I'm gonna make it as it will be a flex item center and px of give it 2 and gap of 4. It will be a p gap of 4. And now also in our next layer of the div, give a class name which will be flex call and gap of 1 to make it a bit of nicer way. So now we are having that, and after that p tag, we're gonna have a button which are gonna say add to cart. So now it whenever we're gonna add to cart, then we're gonna implement two dispatch over here. First of all, the design pattern for the cart button, it will be the similar of the other button also. So I'm just gonna popping up those class names for it. As you see, that will be the our button. So whenever we click on that button, if we just implement the previous one, whenever we click, it's adding there and it's removing the other things from our slicer. So we need to create one slice, I believe, if we are not creating one yet. To create that, let's go to our we need to go back to our next slice. Did we create that? No. After the delete product, we will create another one. I'm just gonna copy paste that one, and the name will be delete favorite. So that will be the thing, and we're gonna get that from that favorite product data. So we're gonna pass that from that favorite product data, and we need to pass that. Oops, it will be delete favorite. That's simple. So now let's go back to our over here. We need to get the dispatch button to implement that. So oops, it will be const dispatch, use dispatch. So now we need to implement those things. First of all, let's go to our add to cart and on click. Oops, not on play. It will be on click event. First dispatch, it will be add to cart. First, we need to add our products in the cart, and I believe we have been added a lot of products. Let's go to get it from somewhere, and let's go to our ID. So just let's implement that. Okay, and instead of products, we are getting everything from our item sources. So instead of those things, what I'm gonna pass as item. So now first of all, we need to dispatch the items to add to cart, and then we need to dispatch another functionality for it. Okay, in that way it can actually be work. So we are dispatching one item. Now again, after that also, and we need to implement another dispatch. Oops, I believe okay. We're dispatching add to cart. So this is the add to cart. Finish here. And now we're gonna make another dispatch. Why is not taking? Something wrong. Dispatch, which will be delete favorite. And now we need to pass that item.id. First of all, we will add to cart, then we will delete there. So now if we come over here, now this is the portion. If we add to cart, it's also going from there. Now also we need to create another button which will giving us the action proportion, and where we can describe the price variation over there. After that button, we're gonna just after that div, we can introduce another div which will be passing that formatted price, and inside we can also need to import. It's not coming, so let's go to manual, import formatted price from formatted price. Okay, it's have been added, that's why. Okay, so let's use that formatted price, and the amount, it will be item dot price, item dot price into item dot quantity, because it gonna give us that proportional price. So that's the price we need to show us there. And for that price also, let's go and grab some class name. That class name, it will be text, it will be LG, larger text, and the font, it will be semi bold, and the text, it will be Amazon Blue. So now you can see that one. Oops, that's the one we are having here. And also we need to implement one receipt button, so that we can actually go through and receipt the product. So whenever we want to receipt, we can implement over there. So to create that receipt button, remember we are having one receipt card items. I think that's the one we can actually copy paste. So first of all, let's create another one, which gonna be favorite items .tsx rafce. So now what I'm gonna do, to from there I'm gonna use a button, the button we used before. So let's add that button. From here we can also implement those things, and let's now we, instead of receipt card, we need to use another slicer. We can use that, which will be our to receipt the receipt favorite data. And to implement, it's very simple. Inside that I think the receipt card, we can use that another one, which will be, we can just copy that, and then favorite, just receipt favorite data. So the state dot favorite data, it will be an empty array. So you're gonna remove all the favorite data from there. So just hit the save, and inside over here, instead of receipt card, we can get that receipt favorite, and also we can pass that variation at that receipt favorite data. And now in that product variation, where we are using the favorite items, remember we are having add to card, then we are passing the value. So I believe not to having there, what we can do, inside our favorite page, wherever we are declaring the favorite product, below that we can get that receipt favorite item. So it's gonna receipt all the items. See, if we click, it will give us a pop-up, are you want to sure or not, then it gonna give us that message. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just pop up those the items over here. We're gonna just popping up with that an h1 tag that nothing is available in the favorite list, and then also we're gonna having a button, and that button gonna link back to us to the home page. So now we are having that pages is available. So what we have been created so far, just clear our pages. So let's go to our home button. We can actually go through the items over here, and also what we can do, actually we can add to our card, we can add to our favorite item. So now we can add the more items if we want. So we can go through our favorite item list, we can add the product from here, and also we can go to our cart product links. So it's a very simplistic way to build. We did that entire things in our today's build. So now we can push it through to our GitHub. And what I'm gonna, and to do that, let's go and close the terminal right now. I'm gonna make it git add, and git commits, and the commit it will be search bar added, and now git push. So it will push all the datas, all the work we have been done. If we just go to our GitHub and let's go to my repository, and inside that repository Amazon YT, which the link it will be in the description below, you can find all the available data. If you just clone it, it will work just fine. So our next video, I'm gonna show you how you can go through in a production level deployment on that way, because it's on the live and we can actually add and delete everything from there. So it's running in a production level way. So I'm gonna show you how you can do that. Till then, feel free to create that and ask if you have any doubt in the comment. So see you in the next video.